Well, good afternoon, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is John McLaughlin, and I am the interim dean of the Faculty of Theology. For those of you who do know me, my name is still John McLaughlin, and I'm still the interim dean of the Faculty of Theology. I want to start by acknowledging the land on which the University of St. Michael's College operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and the Mississaugas of the Credit. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. So welcome, everybody, new students, returning students. It's the first time many of us have seen each other face to face in a year and a half. And we've all had a long year and a half struggle. We're happy and excited to be back to in-person learning. If you were present at the reintegration event earlier this month, like a week ago, you got a report from somebody from facilities about all the additional efforts that have been taken in terms of the building. You've seen the information about vaccination requirements, testing, etc. And although people are still nervous because we've been apart for so long, I personally am confident that I think it's going to be safe semester for us, and that we will not have to go into another lockdown. So that's all I have to say on that. My main task today is simply to introduce the faculty for you. I will have them introduce themselves so you get an idea of who they are. So I'll be just going around the room and asking people to introduce themselves, indicate their areas of expertise and or interests, and what courses they're teaching this year. So you'll have a good idea. And I'll start with me. I am professor of Old Testament Hebrew Bible. My primary areas of interest are the ancient Israelite religion, biblical prophets, and the wisdom literature. And I've recently learned a new phrase from one of my students. I used to say that anything past the Babylonian exile was current events, but I now call it post-interesting. Not everybody shares my opinion on that, but there you have it. I'll mostly be doing administration this year as interim dean, but second semester I am teaching a graduate seminar on ancient Israelite religion. So let me just sort of go around the room. Andrew.
Hi, everybody. I'm Father Andrew Summerson, so I'm a new faculty member here. I hired to do Greek patristics. I also teach, part of my responsibilities with Bishop Titsky Institute of Eastern Christian Studies. I'm teaching the History of Christianity 1 survey and 2 different ethics courses, as well as a Trinity course in the winter. So happy to be with you all today.
Hello, I'm Chip Gittler. I'm a professor of historical theology and church history. If you are interested in church history, I teach the History of Christianity 2. So I'm the sequel to what Father Summerson does. I also co-teach it because we do kind of medieval and Reformation. I co-teach it with a colleague at Knox College. So we get kind of Catholic and Protestant, medieval and modern approach to it. It's a lot of fun. So if you haven't booked for that, go ahead and book for it. The other courses I teach are at the graduate level. I teach a historical theology and ethics course, and I'm teaching a course on Anselm, which is also available as a basic degree course if you're interested in that as well.
Thank you. Professor Diaz.
Hello, everyone. My name is Darren Diaz. I'm a professor of systematic theology, and I'm also the academic program director here at the faculty. My area is around the intersection of lived experience and doctrine. So I have a special focus around Trinitarian and interreligious Trinitarian doctrine, but also postponed approaches. Oh, right. I'm teaching Trinitarian approaches to religious diversity. So that's a 5,000 course. It was listed as Tuesdays, as Wednesdays, and it came up against the forward course, but TST is not part of it. So if you're still interested, it's not actually during the forward course, it's on Thursdays.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Fortune. I am a professor of practical theology. I'm also the director of field education and pastoral formation, so you will hear more about that later on. I'm currently teaching this fall Foundations of Theology, or Systematics and Theology of Ministry, which is the first course with field education component. associate trauma processing or how to do Christian theology in light of very difficult experiences.
Thank you. Professor Sean.
I'm Colleen Shantz. I teach New Testament here. My research is invested in experience. So all the things that earned ideas that fuel the Christianity, so emotion, experience, ritual practices, those kinds of things. And I dabble with books, which keeps me interested. This year, I'm teaching, this semester, I'm teaching a course on the Gospel of Mark, which is geared particularly to those of you who might be working with texts for preaching or for reflection, and a course called Becoming Christian, which is the continuing puzzle of how Christianity became so successful so quickly in the first century. Next semester, I'm teaching the course justice and OMB.
Thank you. Professor Krogewald.
Hi, my name is Alex Krogewald. I'm a PhD student here, hopefully finishing up my dissertation this year. And I'm teaching the introduction to the Old Testament on Thursdays. It's online. See there.
Professor Attridge.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mike Attridge. Gosh, it's good to be face to face here. I realized when I saw Tina in the library earlier today that we met in a couple of courses, but I actually never met face to face. And I didn't realize that I hadn't met you face to face until after we left. It's great to be back together again face to face. Mike Attridge, I'm an associate professor here at the Faculty of Theology. I teach. My main area of research and teaching is in the Second Vatican Council, but I also work in 19th and 12th century theologians and theological movements that gave rise to the Second Vatican Council. This semester, I'm teaching the introductory course to ecclesiology, introductory course to Christology, and starting in January next month. So that's still available right now. Nice to see everyone.
Professor Cameron.
Hi, everyone. I'm Cindy Cameron. I'm the newly appointed Keenan Chair of Religious Education and Assistant Professor of Religious Education. I am delighted to be here. I just moved to Toronto from the United States, so I'm still sorting my way through everything. But I'm just so excited to be here. This fall, I am teaching a course called Education, Media, and Evangelization, looking at digital media and social media as a tool for religious education. And in the winter semester, I am teaching the Catholic Documents course and something else that's escaping my mind right now. Thanks.
Okay. Did I miss anybody behind the masks? Unable to be with us today, Professor Hilda Koster teaches in the area of eco-theology, and her specific courses for the year are escaping me at the moment. Any of our other full-time faculty? I'm going through the, sorry?
I think it's eco-spirituality.
Eco-spirituality, okay.
Eco-ethics and then eco-spirituality.
Yeah. They're listed on our webpage and on the TST website, so you can easily find them. Ann Anderson teaches a course this semester. She's emerita. She's been retired for some time. She's in fact previous dean of the Faculty of Theology and a previous president of the university, and she still teaches a course this semester. Again, I don't have her courses off the top of my head, but
Spirituality.
there you go. I knew somebody would. And finally, Father Alexander Laschuk, who is the executive director of the Metropolitan Andrei Sheptytsky Institute for Eastern Christian Studies. That's a big mouthful. He is teaching a course this semester as a sessional lecturer on canon law in the church. And he mentioned in a different meeting yesterday that he was up to double digits. So there's a huge interest in canon law, evidently. So there we have it. And I think that's it. Okay, and with that, I'm going to turn it over to, is Darren up next?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Unmasked. Well, it's nice to see everyone here. Welcome, welcome. There's a fraction of our total population here, obviously, because of COVID and the inability to for people to be here in person. That's why it is being recorded and it will be put on the internet for our other students to view later. I was thinking, Cindy, Professor Cameron has just arrived from the US. One thing that an American mentor of mine used to say, Bob Doran, is that Canadians were really bad at self-promotion or tooting their own horns, as he would say. And that's not a bad thing to be. But I think it's an important time maybe to say something to you about what a great choice you've made in coming here. You probably had other places to go, other possibilities. But this is a great place to be. And I think that's important for you to know at the beginning and for you to remember when halfway through your program, you're thinking, what am I doing here? It's consistently, the consortium here with the University of Toronto is consistently ranked in the top schools internationally. Our assessments bear witness to this. You know, not only is it a great theological institution at the heart of a big public university, but one that's publicly funded and accessible. I think there's an issue of justice there. So, so congratulations for making the choice to be a good place. We're really happy that you're here. And you're here because the faculty of the admissions committee has reviewed your file and thinks that you'll flourish here. This is a place for you to flourish. So welcome. Now, in the structure for students, my job is as programs director of academic programs. And I work with two other people. You'll hear from Emil in a moment, who is our registrar. And normally we would have a programs coordinator. So we support your academics, your experience here in three ways with three people: a programs coordinator, a registrar, or student services officer. But when you read in the TST, they say, go to your college registrar. And you say, I don't have one. I have a student services officer. That's Emil. And then at TST, they might say, go to your college AD director. And you say, I don't have one, but there is an academics program director. That's me. So the academic program and the college graduate director is the third person. Sort of the first level of support is around maybe courses and dates and information, and that would normally be the programs coordinator. Then you may have questions, you know, why am I not showing up on Rosie? Why is my course not here? What is this FinCit? What is this financial business? That's when you go to Emil, our registrar. And then specific issues of an academic nature would come to me. So that's how we're going to support these three roles. Primarily, I will have contact with the advanced degree students. Advanced degree students are those students who are in the THM program, the MA program, the PhD program, and the DMin program. So those are the degrees that we refer to all across TST as advanced degree or AD programs. You'll have contact with me, and you'll have contact with the GCTS at TST. So you get these emails, you're wondering who's who. It's normal to get a bunch of emails from different people. The TST AD orientation is tomorrow. It's online, and it begins at 9 o'clock, I believe. So there is the TST orientation for all the 7 colleges, all the 6 colleges involved in graduate programs at the TST will have their orientation tomorrow.
I thought that was Friday.
Is it Friday? Oh, sorry. They actually haven't sent the graduate directors an email about it yet. So I don't actually know the date, and I don't have a link. So but they said they would. Anyways, it's Friday at 9 o'clock. So yeah, stay tuned. I hope if any students haven't gotten that, just let me know. I'll make sure you get the email, even if I don't have it. And that's a good way to see colleagues, because the AD programs are really integrated. The 6 colleges, the students, the faculty come together under the auspices of the GCTS. Even though this is your home, right? Both AD and BD students, this is your home, St. Michael's. In the letter that you should have received, if you didn't yet receive a letter from me welcoming you here to St. Michael's and the TST, just a reminder that You should already, if you're in a doctoral program, have had contact with your supervisor. You can initiate that meeting, and you should. If you don't know who your supervisor is, then please let me know. If you're in the MA or the THM program, you should have had contact with me around course selection. And if we're really confident about what your area of research is going to be, I might have already put you in touch with a mentor. If I haven't, that's fine. That will unfold in time. So you should have had contact with your supervisor, director, or myself. Secondly, that letter, just to remind you, you're really strongly encouraged there. You should have a really good reason for not applying to various scholarships. First, the OGS, the Ontario Graduate Scholarship, and the SSHRC. Now, if you're eligible to apply for those, you should apply. And it's not just because you get a bunch of money, it's because it helps you to articulate your project, right? It helps you in thinking about what you're going to write about. The U of T and the TST offer workshops. Look out for the dates for the workshops. They're very helpful. Past recipients of the OGS and SSHRC have said how helpful they were. So it's not a waste of time. And just to say, applying pays off. And the last tally, I haven't received it in about a year, but 2 years ago, 8 of the 14 OGS offers made at the TST were St. Michael students. So we have a good track record. People get these awards. Currently, and I do have the records on this, 2 of our students hold SSHRCs, which is impressive. One including the Bombardier Scholarship. I think that's public. And I think you've been named. That's Deanna. So congratulations on that. That's really good. I'm never sure what privacy law I'm allowed to say it, but it was on the internet. So we can assume that it's public. That's a wonderful testament to the work that you're doing and the quality of your contribution. So don't be shy to apply. You should apply. There are also a whole bunch of other scholarships offered at TST and St. Michael's. Last year, Emil, our registrar, called me to say that there was a scholarship that no one had applied for. Should we let the students know? And I said to him, we'll let them know this year. But if it happens again, forget it. It's up to you. Look at the scholarships. There's lots of opportunities and apply for them. Apply for them. Okay. When you do apply for these scholarships, just remember you'll need letters of reference. Let your referee know at least 3 weeks ahead that you will be sending them in a week's time a little statement of intent. And are they willing to write the letter of reference? Do not contact them like 3 days before, because we take this seriously. We want to write strong letters. You'll either get no letter or you'll get a weak letter without notice. So as a rule of thumb, 3 weeks before, ask, will you be my reference? And then 2 weeks before, send a little blurb about what you are applying to and what you want highlighted. Okay. Are there any questions about applying for things, applying for awards and scholarships? I know it seems daunting, but there's always room for questions in the weeks and months to come. PhD students, you should have already received a letter from me matching up to your faculty mentor. All those who are in first and second year PhD programs will be matched up, will become the research assistant to a faculty mentor. If you have not received that letter, please let me know. Also, we have monthly graduate seminars. This is a great opportunity for doctoral students and sometimes master's students to share their research with one another. The dates have already been sent and are in the letter that was sent out. There may not be one in September though. So it might start in October. We're going to survey graduate students about whether they're willing to come on campus or not. So we're not sure about the format yet. It doesn't make sense to hold it if no one's going to be present on campus. So we'll probably change the format. So just stay tuned for that. But they're really good opportunities to get together and to share, and both students and faculty participate. And let me just make some general announcements before Emma will speak to the registrarial and the BD programs. Of course, you're all encouraged to get involved in the life of St. Michael's, of the Faculty of Theology and the TST. Liturgy committee, student life, here at the faculty or at the Toronto School of Theology. It's a great way to learn about the university and the academy and to contribute. So do get involved. the solitary scholar alone in the library with no friends is a myth. It's just a myth. We're a community of scholars and we engage each other in various ways, including research and publication, but also in prayer and community building and social justice. Secondly, ask questions. If you have questions for now, ask Emil or I. There's all kinds of questions that you might have. You might be embarrassed to ask it right now, but you might, because you might think, ah, that's a dumb question. So then ask us later in private. Ask questions, email us, call us. And lastly, one of the amazing resources is our library system at the University of Toronto and the Toronto School of Theology. It is second to none in the country, and it really is a lifesaver for research. Kelly Library right next door is St. Michael's College Home Library. It is connected to all the other 20 plus libraries on the campus of the University of Toronto. And as students of St. Michael, you have access to great resources and you should take advantage of them. Kelly Info Express that digitizes articles and catalogs. So Kelly Info Express, personal librarian programs, a writing center. Everybody can use help with their writing, like everybody. And so it's great to have a writing center. You can make an appointment and get great advice. Take advantage of the really good services that Kelly Library has to offer. And in the, they haven't emailed me about this yet either, but there is usually a TST library tour. It's a good way to get to know the theological libraries at TST. There are 6 on campus and 1 at St. Augustine Seminary off campus. So keep your eyes out for the TST library tour. And if you have any issues around the library, we have a dedicated theological librarian. We're really spoiled, in addition to 8 professional librarians or more. Noel McFerrin. Noel McFerrin, you'll see his name come up time and again on emails. Noel is a great resource. So he likes, well, I should say that. I was gonna say he likes to be taken advantage of, but that's not the case. He likes it when he gets questions and he likes being serviced, and it's a real strength. So Noel couldn't be here now. He'll be on the website. He'll probably do something, a message. But just so you know that the Kelly Library is a really wonderful resource. You can ask students that have already been here, and Noel McFerrin is your contact in the library. So having said all that, wish you a great year. Hope that things will be steady and stable, even though things might pop up because of COVID, as they did last year. But we weathered it. The programs were offered, courses were offered, people progressed in their programs. So we're confident, even though you might be a little apprehensive and say, we don't know what's going to happen with this next wave. We did, I think, to the credit of the staff and faculty here at the TST, continue on with very little interruption, even though it's difficult to the program. So you don't need to start off with that type of anxiety. Okay. Welcome again, and Emil.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming in person. And those of you who couldn't join, I think these info sessions will be useful. Normally, this part of the program is done by our programs coordinator. The new students may have already met, but Anthony Duffy, our current programs coordinator, is leaving USMC. So we'll be looking for a replacement soon. So in the meantime, in the interim, if you have any questions in regards to courses, programs, please direct them to me. Just to cover the basic degree student side of things, before you enroll for courses, always consult with the programs coordinator. Even though we have the checklists for all the programs available on the website, it's always good to check with the programs coordinator, because especially if you take a course outside of St. Mike's at the other TST school, we want to make sure that it fits your program. So, and also speaking of our website, we are currently working on a new website. So hopefully by end of the year, it will be more interactive and useful, because the current website, many of you have expressed your frustrations with it. So hopefully we'll be able to address those concerns. In terms of programs, just want to mention for the MDiv students particularly, this has come up again and again. You would need 5 philosophy credits. Usually, if it's not mentioned in your admission letter, then you should definitely speak to the programs coordinator about it and find the philosophy requirement before you graduate. For the MTS students who they're for the summary exercise, you have the major research paper and the thesis. If you're planning to do a thesis, make sure that you speak to some professors, because at the time you apply for the thesis, you should get 2 recommendation letters stating that you can do the thesis. Other than that, in terms of field education, our formation director, John P. Fortin, will speak after me about that in detail. Like Darren mentioned, please take part in the Student Life Committee and Literature Committee, because that's what makes us special. We have a great community, so get involved. Any other registrarial issues? Funding, if you're a student who is receiving funding, any questions, please contact me. The new students, you should get your T card, which is your student card, and also your University of Toronto email address, which are very important. If you can't go in person, they will still do it online. So make sure you always use your Toronto email. I know many of you prefer your Gmails and Outlook, but it's highly recommended that you use your University of Toronto email, because that's the official policy, because technically we're not supposed to even respond to emails that come from other places. For official business, please use your University of Toronto email. And also always keep your contact information updated on Acorn. And hopefully, if you move, anything changes, you could go and update yourself. Also pay attention to the deadlines, especially if you take a course and if you're going to drop them, there are financial penalties involved. So make sure you visit the fees, University of Toronto fees page, and they have the refund schedules to say when you're supposed to drop them. And also, if you visit Toronto School of Theology website, they have the deadline, the key academic dates. Please pay attention to those. Even the AD students, especially if there are deadlines to request for reading and research courses or extensions, anything, there are deadlines to be met. So please pay attention to those. And lastly, for the financial aid, there are a lot of, like Father Duran mentioned, there are in-person awards. Hopefully we'll be posting them next week. So it's a competition. So the more people apply, it'll be great. And it's free money. And we're talking about $3,000 sometimes, right? So, but I barely get any applications. So please pay attention to those and apply for those as well. Any other registrarial issues, I'm always there. So send me an email. And if you don't hear back from me within a day or 2, that means I didn't get your email. So if you didn't hear back, just simply email again. Or you could always call me as well. Starting next week, we'll be in the office on a rotation basis, but I'll post my schedule on the door, and I'll also send an email so people will know when I'll be in. And other than that, any other questions you have, feel free to email. And with that, I will ask Dr. Jean-Pierre Fortin to come and speak about the field placement and field education. Thank you.
Background noise. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I'm Jean-Pierre Fortin, the director of field education. And now I will speak specifically to BD degree students, so Master of Divinity, Master of Religious Education, and Master of Theological Studies, because the field education is an option for those students in the MTS program as well. Why I take this time to speak to you is because the field education component of your program of study is one great opportunity to learn experientially. So you actually go out in the field, you stretch yourself, you discern what your ministerial calling is on a ministerial site under the careful supervision of experienced ministers who already are serving. So in your program of study, the way the field education component is structured is that the field placement on site actually occurs between 2 courses, one that prepares you, theology of ministry, introducing you to a range of ministerial areas, and also helping you formulate the questions that drive you ministerially. And then you go into the field and formulate learning goals and objectives on the basis of this question that you then strive to meet in a placement of 100 for MRE and MTS students, up to 250 hours for the Master of Divinity students. After you've completed your field placement, you take part with other students who have just done the same in the theological reflection seminar, where you learn methods of theological reflections and other approaches in practical theology to process and reflect on your ministerial experience. The goal of this is to equip you with a second set of eyes that enable you to see yourself ministering and what is going on around you beyond your focus area of attention. When we're serving in action in the midst of times such as these, it's easy to lose sight of what's going on beyond our immediate focus. So the theological reflection seminar is really about equipping you and working with your classmates in equipping one another with this second level perspective, enables you to think off the cuff, on site, in actual situation instead of only post facto. So for all of these reasons, and because you need to discern what you would like or you feel you're called to test yourself into for your field placement, I strongly encourage you to get in touch with me as soon as possible so that I can know what's actually turning you on ministerially. And I can start thinking with you as to where you think you would be able to stretch yourself and grow as much as possible during your studies in the context of the field education component of your program. So please make sure if you have a field education component of your, consider it as a possible summative exercise for your Master of Theological Studies program. Please consult with me as soon as possible. The second element I want to talk to you about is more specifically for Master of Divinity students, and it has to do with pastoral formation. Master of Divinity students have to build up a portfolio that contains several elements or components. And some of these are personal reflection papers. Those papers are an opportunity for you to set ministerial and pastoral formation goals for yourself. And in collaboration with me, you will be able to define stages or steps that will lead you to achieve those goals so that you get a formation that transcends or goes beyond the classroom to include all other dimensions of ministerial practice, so that you have a well-rounded formation that prepares you for a solid full-time engagement in ministerial practice. And as well as the reflection papers, there are also what we call the pastoral skills development experiences. It's 40 hours of formation experience distinct from your field placement experience, in which you either acquire or hone skills that will really help you build your array of skills for ministerial practice. Once again, I can only encourage you to contact me as soon as possible so that we can figure out together which areas and which activities would enable you to acquire the skills you will need to be an efficient minister as you complete your studies. No matter at what stage you are in your MDiv program, please get in touch with me, either to get started with the process of the portfolio or to refresh and make sure or assess where you are with achieving your goals and putting together your portfolio. I'm here to help you. And the portfolio is not, intended to be one more thing you have to do, but a tool and an instrument to foster your development as a minister. And I'm really looking forward to meeting with you and learning about your own vocational calling and assisting you in making sure that you respond to it in as fulsome a way as possible in the context of your studies here at the Faculty of Theology. So welcome to the faculty, either if you're a new student or returning, and I look forward to meeting all of you soon. Thank you.
I think one thing, Darren, I think we should mention is the pro seminars. You mentioned, okay, so yeah, we've decided, have we decided the mode of delivery yet? No, okay. So we'll send out an email about that, how we are going to deliver that. So, John, any other words?
Best person scholar chart.
Yep.
What's that? What's the time?
5:30 we are starting, so we
Yeah.
are
What time is it now?
5:07.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, the librarian would have been normally here giving a presentation. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it. So our plan is to have him record a session by himself, and then we will post it on the website, including this one. We'll be able to post it on the website, and we'll send you the links, and then you could access it and find the sessions. Yes.
Just as what we come to do, students have to do check.
Yes, so I sent an email out to you all yesterday about how the U-Check works. So basically, you log in with your user ID, you upload your vaccine receipt, and then if you don't have the vaccination, then you have to do the rapid test and you have to upload those reports. It's pretty straightforward. It has all the FAQs in terms of why I need to do it, what I need to do it, when I need to do it. And again, in accordance with University of Toronto and St. Michael's College, everyone has to be fully vaccinated to be on campus. I think there are certain dates, September 13th, and by end of sometime in October, everyone has to be fully vaccinated. Some of the students have asked me whether if they only have one shot, whether they could come in. Yes, you can, but you have to upload the negative test to the U-Check site. And again, you have to, if you're visiting the campus every day, you have to do the U-Check every day. So it's not like I did it today, so I don't have to do it for the rest of the week. It has to be done on a daily basis. So any other questions on U-Check, you could email me or you could just follow the website, and they have a very elaborative FAQ there in terms of what needs to be done. So, any other questions? So, and people know where Scholar Park is, so you should probably.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say a couple words. I'm gonna follow Darren's lead and take my mask off, and maybe you can hear me a little bit better. Since Noel's not here, I want to really make a plug for the services of the library, especially for the new students. Darren mentioned Info Express. Info Express is a service where you can email them and say, I need this article. You know, if you haven't been able to find it already through the ATLA database or whatever. And they're amazing at finding these things sometimes online where we can't find them. If they can't, they will scan it into a PDF and email it to you. If they have it electronically, they will simply send that to you. You can also request chapters out of books, like an essay and an anthology. There's copyright limits of how much they can do from each book, but they will do this. And every single Faculty of Theology student, basic and advanced degree, can take advantage of this service. I keep running into students who don't know about it, and it's really a fantastic service. And a new thing that the Kelly Library is instituting this year, I think it's called Will Call or Pickup or something like that, where you can actually request books and they will get them and bring them down to the circulation desk and hold them for you. It's sort of like a carryover from the curbside pickup that we were doing during the COVID days. They will send you an email when it's ready. Again, do not hesitate. Info Express, I think it's infoexpress@utoronto.ca, but it's on the website. And as Darren mentioned, Noel McFerrin is fantastic. He finds things that you can't find, including like he finds electronic copies of books. The library has been going overboard in collecting e-copies of books, not just physical copies that you can access from your home computers. But so if you're looking for something and you can't find it, contact Noel. And as Darren said, it's not that he likes to be taken advantage of, but he likes doing this stuff. You know, it's his career. It's what he loves to do. So don't hesitate. You may think, oh, I'm going to be bothering them. So I just want to put a plug in for all of this as a way to help you in your academic progress. the advantage of this thing. And they're often very quick. I mean, sometimes you put in a request for an article and they might get back to you within an hour or two sometimes, but usually within a day or two. So Info Express and Noel McFerrin, if you get a chance to go into the library and actually meet with Noel, he's just fantastic, and his specialization is in theological issues. He has a theology degree himself, in addition to his library studies. Any questions? I mean, people have been talking at you, but do you have any questions for anybody who's said anything thus far? Okay, so the plan is that we're having Vespers in Scholar Park. If you don't know where Scholar Park is, Brennan Hall is, if you went over and stood in front of Kelly Library and looked up that passageway with little houses on either side, Brennan Hall is right at the end of that passageway. To the right of that is St. Basil's Church. Scholar Park is in between those two buildings. So easy to find. We'll have Vespers there, and normally we would have a barbecue with hamburgers and hot dogs and everything, but under current situations, the food supply people here at St. Michael's can only provide individually wrapped items. And they warned us that individually wrapping hot dogs and hamburgers are probably going to lead to soggy buns. And so this year, we're going with sandwiches and wraps and that sort of stuff, and probably individual salads. So we will have a social time after the Vespers, and there will be food available. It just won't be our traditional real bar. So it's a non-barbecue barbecue, I'm calling it. But do come. I expect there will be more people. I hope there will be more people. There's some people who, you know, are well into their programs and they don't come to hear all the introductory stuff, but I do hope there will be more people there. Okay, I think that's it for me. Any last comments from anybody? Okay, 5:30 Scholars Park for Vespers. Thank you.